Welcome everyone to Blue Ridge Silverhound. I'm your host Sean, and today we are going to take a look at the last 7 days of actual sales of found errors and varieties in what I like to call the Pocket Change Sales Report. It's a weekly report that I put out about every Thursday or Friday, depending on how the crow flies, I guess. And what it is these are all coins that can be found in Pocket Change or through roll searching or perhaps even cherry picking like at a local coin dealer or an antique shop. A lot of like the just the raw material that you find out there that you just turn around and flip on eBay and make a nice profit off of. We're going to take a look at coins that generally fall in that $200 to $250 kind of like cap on there. It's more of an approachable dollar figure than say, oh yeah, here's a $2,000 coin that came out of change. Although something like that did pop up, rest assured, it is going to be brought up in some sort of conversation in one of my videos. But anyways, this is pretty much what we're dealing with. Okay, again, coins that are traditionally found in change and everything like that. Finding one of these coins, of course, is a really great feeling, but it also makes you guys realize that there is a lot out there to be found. Can you necessarily get rich off of this? No, but you can make a few extra bucks in the process, especially for those of you that work the daily, the weekly 40-hour weeks or whatever the case may be. Maybe you're a starving college student that needs to, find other ways to make an extra 50 bucks a week. This is something that you could use as a tool. Speaking of tools, I've retooled all of my Amazon links at the bottom of this video, so if you expand out the description part of my video at the bottom, you'll see some new stuff in there. One of the most important things that I always tell people, if you are going to go into searching for any varieties and errors, a good quality magnifier is paramount. Okay, they can be had for very cheap, 5 to 10 bucks. For some really nice quality magnifiers. I would highly encourage you guys to check those out. I do have a few of them available in the links below. I don't get rich off of these either. A dollar here, a dollar there. Your support goes a long way. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the video if you enjoy what you see. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Sorry to keep that whole segment too long. I just talking away. But this first coin, I want to caution. This is not typical. Okay, it's neither an error or variety, but simply it's a type of collecting that is being embraced by a niche community. Okay, and that's going to be machine doubling or strike doubling coins. The coin that you see here is a 2000p Sacagawea dollar. Of course, these things were minted into oblivion, so there's a bunch of them out there. But this one sold on eBay today, this morning, as a matter of fact, January 10th, for $540. All right, I had to confirm through another site like Watch Count just to make sure that this one did indeed sell, and it did. This one, however, though, as you can see, it has clear machine doubling in the date. And one of those things that you have to kind of identify with these coins, whether it's the Sacagawea dollar coin or any other coin, especially those Lincoln cents, is be on the lookout for the shelf-like doubling that's featured on here. The devices are going to be a little bit shrunk up also as a result of the strike anomaly with these. So once these coins are struck and they are ejected, there is a little bit of a die hop action that goes on, and that's where the devices shrink up and they get smashed up a little bit to give the appearance of a true hub doubled coin. Another thing to keep in mind on these newer coins, all right, you're not going to see doubling on both the date and the mint mark. On this coin, you have both. All right, which indicates the machine doubling or the strike doubling on this coin. $540 is a super ambitious amount of money for a coin that is neither an error or a variety and has been dubbed as being, nothing but die damage, or not die damage, but just something that is damaged through the minting process, and therefore it's neither of those. So there's going to be a lot of like purists in the community that will say, well, that shouldn't even be, that shouldn't even sell for that kind of money. So it's again, it's all to the eye of the beholder. Again, the machine doubling kind of collectability has been ramping up for whatever reason. I'm not personally participating in it because, again, I'm one of those purists that see true errors and varieties as being the most collectible out there in coin collecting. All right, so I wanted to get this out of the way. This is the big one, of course. It falls way out of line of my $250 cap, but it's worth mentioning because it happened this morning. Another coin that I want to talk about, now this one is legit true blue, a coin that no matter what, you should be looking at change regardless. It's the 1972p Lincoln cent with the, of course, this is a really powerfully strong double die obverse. This is die number 1 out of like the 10 or 11 that exist for this date. As you can see, you have strong, just wicked spread on the date, liberty, and in God we trust. Keep an eye out for this coin. This coin right here, kind of hard to say if it was cleaned or not. I think the pictures are a little bit overexposed. By the way, every single image is from the seller, so all the credit in the world to each seller and their photography when they go to put these listings up. But this one right here sold for $425 January 9th, just yesterday. So again, an extremely valuable coin in all grades. This one right here, no exception. Okay, along with all the other double die variants of 1972. As a matter of fact, I'll be talking about one or two other ones on the list. So that's that one right there. Another one that is highly controversial in the community, and I talked about it last week on the first inaugural edition of the Pocket Change Sales Report, is going to be the 1955 Lincoln Wheat Cent that exhibits that extra 5. People call it the 1955 over 5 variety, or they call it the poor man's double die. Again, this is not a variety. This is a deteriorated die issue with this coin. It's not an error, but it seems to me that, you know, for decades it's been well known and documented, and strong examples of this coin right here that exhibits that extra kind of like 5 action sells for a nice chunk of money. This one sold for $5.50 January 9th. All right, so keep an eye out for stuff like this too. People, believe it or not, are buying these, and they have always bought it. You know, even if it is just $5, $10, $15, finding one that's mint state, of course, will bring in a little bit more money in the marketplace. All right, so keep that in mind. So here is another coin that's all a result of searching through some of those mint sets. Some of the most, I guess, less desired, less loved mint sets of the 1970s and possibly late 60s, you know, depending on what your flavor is of that particular collecting, I guess. But what we have here is a relatively inexpensive mint set, 1974. As you guys know, they made both a P and D set that is combined into one envelope. And it just so happens that this particular mint set houses one of the strongest double dies in history. It's going to be the 1974 D Candy half dollar, DDO number 1 or FS 101 through the Cherry Picker's Guide. Again, these exist in these mint sets. Of course, you're going to find your best examples out of a mint set because they are indeed mint condition by all accounts. But here we have like a $7, $8, $9 mint set that sold for $44 shipped as a result of just a savvy eagle-eyed collector identifying that one particular half dollar in here. Keep an eye out again for coins like this that are in mint and proof sets. There's a ton of them out there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into another Lincoln cent. In this case, we have a 1971 Lincoln cent memorial back, of course. This one is Wechsler double die obverse number 4, or just DDO number 4 for short, I guess. This one right here, as you can tell, it's got some pretty nice spread there, and in God We Trust and in Liberty. Okay, this is a really nice coin, and not a lot of people know about this. So this one, as a result of someone's savvy efforts of going through their change or BU rolls, found this one, and it sold for $33 January 9th. Okay, another nice example there. All right, so let's get into something that's a little bit new. And what we have here is a 2019 Philadelphia Jefferson Nickel set. Okay, this is an auction of 2 coins that sold for $12 January 9th of 2020. Okay, and this is going to be a really great opportunity for a lot of you because 2019 nickels are all over the place in some of the highest grades. So you're going to be able to, again, capitalize on what's available out there today, pull these out, and then make a few bucks in the process. Of course, the more of these that you find, the better. So this one right here, it's a 2 coin set. The first one that I'm going to bring up is going to be this double die reverse. As you can see on this image, I actually drew in a arrow indicating where the doubling is. And it's simply just an extra kind of like that top threshold part of the door. You see another one right underneath it. You see that line right there. That is going to be your doubling on this coin. It is ever so subtle, but again, the importance of having a really nice magnifier is going to play a pretty important role as you're going through coins looking for things like this. The second coin that's going to be part of this is this. Again, it's another 19p Jefferson nickel, although on the reverse you have a really sizable die chip on the left side of Monticello. All right, it looks like they called this one like a beehive die chip because, you know, it could be a beehive. You never know. But again, these coins right here, for their simplicity and how minor they can be, actually sell for a few bucks. All right, $12 for 2 coins that cost originally 10 cents right out of the gate. I mean, you can't go wrong. And then you batch together with a bunch of other listings based off of other finds, and wow, it's incredible how everything could just stack up. And then if you sell like 10 of these coins in a week, then, you know, you would have effectively made $50 to $100 or even more. It doesn't matter. But again, this is just proof positive that, you know, even in brand new coins, there are still some neat errors and varieties to be found. All right, so the next one that we have here, and like I had mentioned before, we're going to be talking about a few 1972 double die obverses. Again, there's about a dozen of them available for your viewing pleasure out there and change. But this one right here is the double die obverse number 3. So this is die type number 3. This particular example grades in at about that mid-state 61, 62-ish level. It's got kind of a reddish-brown patina to it. This one right here sold for $22.73 on the 8th. So just a few short days ago. Again, you know, coins like this are a staple in just roll hunting efforts. Okay, if you're roll hunting and you're looking to just kind of like segregate zinc, Lincoln cents, and copper, but fail to even check for some of the varieties, you're really going to short sell your ability to you know, make a profit on these. All right, so keep an eye out for coins that look like this. All right, and here's another coin that I talked about last week. Okay, and I wanted to bring it up again because these are incredible. These are actually a really nice double die reverse, and it's going to be the 2016 Philadelphia Harper's Ferry, West Virginia quarter, the National Park quarter. This one right here is Wechsler's double die obverse, or double die reverse, sorry, number 49. There's about 100 different double die reverses for this date and mint mark. This one, check out that white circle right there. You see some pretty dramatic, you know, doubling of the window panes, and you see kind of like that overlapping feature. This is a really nice example right here, and it's sold for $5. Okay, these coins are pretty widely available even today, in a little bit lower, you know, subpar condition. These have circulated the last 4 years, so the opportunity of finding some high-end pieces of this coin is getting tougher as we go. All right, so keep an eye out for the Harper's Ferry double die reverses. So here's a pretty simplistic, very kind of like self-explanatory coin right here. This is a 1999, at least I think it's a 1999. The last digit, of course, is kind of cut off there because of the off-center action of this coin. But this coin is off-center by about 15%. These pop up and change when you least expect it. This example here is not a high-end example by any means, but it is one that you know, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and you got to know exactly what it is when it comes out. This one right here sold for 11 bucks. You can't ask for anything more. They're not extremely rare, but they are worth a nice little $10, $20 bill if you find one. Okay, this one sold on the 7th. All right, so the next one I wanted to talk about, this one I was actually excited to even bring up because, again, this is a coin that has been around the biz for over 10 years. Believe it or not, it's been 10 years since the 2009 commemorative series of Lincoln Cents came out. Most notably, the formative years, reverse type, in which Lincoln is sitting on a log reading. All right, so there, as you guys know, there's over 100 double die reverses of this coin available out there for you to look for. Okay, all revolving some sort of like doubled finger, thumb, pointer finger, whatever. This one right here is double die reverse number 46. It exhibits that extra finger like you see here. Now, one thing I will point out, I did use the seller images, but the seller images, the seller did use Wechsler's, I believe Wechsler's image from his website. So I added that in here. All the credit in the world to Mr. Wechsler for this image that the seller used to help illustrate it. Because outside of that, the actual images of the coin, the actual coin that he was selling is not good. Okay, and that's why he used that, but he didn't give credit to Mr. Wechsler's photographic images, whereas I am. All right, so this one right here sold for $11.24. And traditionally, when I talk about sale prices, that is going to encompass a full shipped price. All right, whether the shipping's free or maybe that seller charged 99 cents or $2 for first class shipping, that's all going to be reflected on these final prices. All right, so that's another one to look forward to. So here's another one that has seen quite a bit of action out in the secondary market, and it's going to be the 1969 S Lincoln Cent that exhibits not the true double die that everybody opts to look for, but the ones that have strong machine doubling or strike doubling, again, with that die hop action that actually shrinks down some of the devices. As a result, you get some pretty dramatic machine doubling, and people actually want to buy them. So, I don't completely 100% condone this particular practice of selling machine double coins, but if people are paying the money for them in traditional auction formats, these are not buy it nows, by the way. People are bidding up to the dollar figures for these coins. This one sold for $16. All right. Whereas if you posted it on a variety site or anything, they're going to tell you, man, that's machine doubling. It ain't worth anything. Well, beg to differ. Take a look at eBay. Just type in doubled die, because people actually put in double die, or they put strike doubling, which is the correct terminology for something like this. And you'll see that these coins actually sell for a measurable amount of money. If you could turn around a Lincoln Cent that you found and change 1,600 times face value, hey, why not? Take advantage of it while it's out there. Okay, it's not right, but take advantage of it. I know I probably would in some regards, but anyways, let's go ahead and continue on with the next one here. So we have a 1987P Jefferson nickel. Of course, just looking at the images, I mean, it looks like you're run-of-the-mill, beat up, been used a many amount of times in just everyday transactions, Jefferson nickel. All right, so this one right here, the seller had mentioned that it is some sort of funky double die or whatever, and I could, without question, tell you that this is a very, very strong example of a deteriorated die. Okay, the set of dies used to produce this coin was on its final legs, and with that being said, you have a lot of deterioration in the strike on this coin, which gives it a doubling effect on all the devices. Okay, on true double dies, you're not going to get 100% doubling on all of the devices all the time on these coins. This one right here is just from really worn out dies, so keep an eye out for this. Be careful of how you list these, okay, because they could come back to haunt you if you're not careful. All right, so we have a pretty interesting one right here. This one right here is going to be a 1969 Lincoln Cent. Okay, this one is if you're sleeping under a bridge and you don't know about some of the Wechsler double dies, um, be sure to check out his website, doubledie.com. Or Variety Vista will have some stuff on nickels. But this one right here is a double die reverse number one. All right, and just check out this image here, the base of the Lincoln Memorial Monument area, and you're going to see that that doubled kind of bottom step that is diagonal a little bit. That, yes, that is a true double die reverse. Okay, and then because of it, it sold for $15.15 on the 7th of this month. Okay, so yeah, don't overlook these kind of coins. Again, just looking at the regular images, not the close-up, you're going to see that this is not naked eye visible. You're going to have a really good magnifier to get in close to some of these varieties and errors. So keep that in mind. And then finally, we are going to end it off on, guess what? Another 1972 double die obverse. Okay, now die number one has been taking all the accolades as being the one undisputable coin to look for as far as a double die for this date. Okay, however, people have been sleeping on double die obverse number two. Okay, and this one is actually a really strong example where you have some pretty nice spread in not only the date, Liberty, but also in God We Trust. A lot of the same attributes as you would find on die number one. All right, so keep an eye on this one. The seller, of course, did send this off to Annex, usually in the pocket change report. I have a strong emphasis on coins that aren't graded at all, but it just so happens that this one was graded. Annex, of course, you know, it's going to be an inexpensive service to authenticate your coins and encapsulate them. So I'm not going to rag on him too much about that, but this one, you know, sold for $67.66 on January 6th. Again, a really nice, very valuable coin that can be found in change. No problem. All right. So there's a lot to chew on. Again, there's a lot of things that you can look for. This list encompasses less than probably 0.1% of all of the varieties and errors that exist out there today. You guys are going to have a field day this weekend. Buy up, you know, a box of coin, whatever your favorite denomination is. Leave no stone unturned. You've seen some of the sell prices on some of these coins, whether they are a legit error or variety. All right, people are buying them. There are niche groups out there that are paying a little bit of money for coins that typically we would say are worthless. But you know, be sure that you are kind of aware of what's going out there in the marketplace. Hopefully this report will open up a few eyes in terms of the viability of some of these prices, you know, from the minor $5 error to something as high as $100, $200. They all exist out there with just some dedicated searching. Okay, and because of that, you can make a few bucks in the process. Again, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slow scheme. As you guys have heard before. But in any event, I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Again, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for instant notification if you enjoyed today's content. It was a lot of fun. I will see you on the next video. As always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys take care. Have a great weekend.